Legislative Day number 7 will now come to order. Please rise for a moment of silent meditation. Thank you. I will now call upon Councilwoman Bevins to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry about that. We'll. Oh, okay. All right. Councilman Marks, take it away. I'm told we have scouts here. Is there a scout in the building? Yes. I don't have it. Ask them. Okay. What troop are you from? Lutherville. Okay. Good, good. Well, we're happy to have you here. Councilman Katz, you want to say a few words to your troops from Lutherville?
Yes, I want to welcome, what troop number is it? 340. 340 from Lutherville. From Lutherville, I think, well, I know that the most rewarding experience I had when I was in the legislature now is going to Eagle Scout ceremonies, and I hope that all of you will aim to become Eagle Scouts, and I hope to be invited to all of your ceremonies. So thank you very much for being here this evening.
Okay, you're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance whenever you're ready. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the journal from the meeting of April the 2nd, 2018?
I'll move it. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The journal is approved. Enrollment of bills. Bill 1-18 and 21-18 were passed by the council, signed by the county executive, and hereby enrolled. Bills 12-18, 13-18, 14-18, 15-18, 16, 17, and 19-18 were passed by the council and hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary will now read all bills for introduction.
Bill 27-18, Circuit Court Security Grant. Bill 28-18, Medical Cannabis Dispensaries. Bill 29-18, Zoning Regulations, Commercial Recreational Facilities. Bill 30-18, Zoning Regulations, Uses in BL Zones. Bill 31-18, County Attorney, Significant Litigation. Bill 32-18, the Annual Budget and Appropriation Ordinance. Bill 33-18, Property Tax. Bill 34-18, the Personnel Law of Baltimore County. Bill 35-18, Revenue Stabilization Reserve Account. Bill 36-18, Employees Retirement System. Bill 37-18, School Borrowing Ordinance. Bill 38-18, Agricultural and Rural Land Preservation Borrowing Ordinance. Bill 39-18, Waterway Improvement Program Borrowing Ordinance. Bill 40-18, Parks Preservation and Greenways Borrowing Ordinance. Bill 41-18, Public Works Borrowing Ordinance. Bill 42-18, Community Improvement Project Borrowing Ordinance. Bill 43-18, Operational Buildings Borrowing Ordinance. Bill 44-18, Refuse Disposal Borrowing Ordinance. And Bill 45-18, Community College Borrowing Ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I'll now call Bill 22-18 to be read into the record.
Bill 22-18, Aging and Disability Resource Center.
Ms. Joanne Williams. How you doing this evening, Ms. Williams? Good.
Good evening again, Mr. Chair, and to members of the County Council. I'm requesting a supplemental appropriation on behalf of the Baltimore County Department of Aging for the Aging and Disability Resource Center, which is funded by the Maryland Department of Aging to provide information, referral, and options counseling to Baltimore County seniors and individuals with disabilities. Under a revised system of allocating federal Medicaid dollars, the Baltimore County Department of Aging has the opportunity of receiving additional funding of $100,000 by the Maryland Department of Health through a partnership with Maryland Department of Aging. These added funds will be used for additional counseling resources, outreach services and materials, staff training, and the implementation of new screening processes. The ADRC, also known as Maryland Access Point, serves as the point of entry to all Baltimore County Department of Aging programs and services. Certified information specialists assess callers' needs and provide a wide range of information from healthcare resources to financial assistance programs options. Based in Towson, the office serves all of Baltimore County. Maryland Access Point receives about 20,000 phone calls a year from the public. The program also provides face-to-face assistance to customers and caregivers throughout the county. A speakers bureau also to market the BCDA programs and resources, and a wealth of print resource material.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. I'm just going to take this opportunity to thank you and your staff for all you do for our seniors in Baltimore County. Every time I go into a community center, they are all very appreciative of everything.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Sure. Are there any questions or comments? Thank you very much, Ms. Williams. Mr. Secretary, would you please call the roll for Bill 22-18?
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Ayes will have it. Bill 22-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Bill 23-18 is sponsored by Council Members Quirk, Marks, Katz, Crandall, and Allman. Animal Welfare, Oscar's Law.
Councilman Quirk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the co-sponsors as well on Bill 23-18. And thank you also to all the supporters in the audience. I mean, maybe for anybody supporting this bill, if you guys want to stand up or rise, thank you. Really do appreciate all of your support. And I do want to say that this bill really came from the people, from the citizens of Baltimore County. I do want to make that clear. So thank each and every one of you for all your hard work to make this bill a reality. And basically, Bill 23-18 revises the county animal welfare laws to address the issue of appropriate shelter for an animal that is not kept within a home or a building. It expands upon requirements by providing that such a shelter also protect an animal from adverse environmental conditions. It does expand what a suitable shelter is and what it is not. And I think a really strong part of the bill is we also authorize a Baltimore County police officer to enter property under certain conditions and seek a warrant under certain conditions in the same manner as the current law authorizes an animal control officer to do so. I know a few opponents that spoke earlier were worried about, well, what might affect one dog or a pet versus another pet or a dog. But working with our county attorneys, we did put some language in there that helped to allow for different sizes and weights and different types of dogs and pets too, to make sure that we have legal language in place where we're not unintentionally hurting any legitimate pet owners that are just out with their pets or enjoying time with their cats or dogs. And I did want to just thank the council members as well, because this bill basically gives tools to the county where we don't have a pet that really was with a pet owner that maybe shouldn't have a pet, allowing their dogs or animals to stay out in freezing weather or in really extreme heat where they actually die. I mean, I regret that we have to even do this bill, because I would like to think that every pet owner doesn't need to be reminded, hey, bring your dogs in when it's freezing out and don't let them stay out there for 8 or 10 hours at a time where they actually freeze to death. And plus, I also think it gives the county the tools that we need to go after this with even more enforcement. Bottom line is, now we can have the police come, because if animal control comes to somebody's door, yeah, maybe they might listen, maybe they might not. But if a police officer comes out with a badge and a gun and the power to investigate, yeah, I think they're going to get a lot more attention. So with that, Councilman Marks or anybody from the council want to say anything?
Sure. Councilman Marks?
Councilman Katz?
Thank you very much, Councilman Quirk. It was a pleasure working with you on this bill and with everyone else. In a humane society, those of us in positions of power have a responsibility to look out for the helpless, and that's what I think we are doing tonight. And I also think that during a time when governments all around the United States are embroiled in stalemate and acrimony, here's an example of where good people collaborated to advance noteworthy legislation. I want to thank, of course, Councilman Quirk for his early leadership on this. I want to thank the state's attorney, Scott Schellenberger. I want to thank my colleagues for their support, but I also want to thank 3 outstanding animal advocates, Joy Freeman, Darla Ferry, and Julianne Zimmer, who and all 3 of you were outstanding to work with, so thank you. I'm not going to repeat what Councilman Quirk said, the details of the bill, but I think the spirit of the bill is very important, and what we're doing tonight is very important, and I think it continues the overall progress we have made since 2014, first with the animal shelter and now with animal abuse. This is a good night, and thank you for all who made this possible.
Any more comments from the members? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll for Bill 23-18.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Katch?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Oh, boy.
Bill 23-18 passes.
Well,
great.
let's
That was great.
move on to some other probably not so important items.
Mr. Chair, you didn't say
Bill 23-18
Bill 23-18 passes.
Oh, was that an oversight?
Yes,
Oh.
it was.
Thank you for the correction. The ayes have it. Bill 23-18 has
Thank
passed.
you.
There you go. Good, good. Go.
Makes it official.
Thank you.
The council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on April the 10th. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. I'll now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 4.
Fiscal Matter 1 is a contract with CVP TP LLC. Fiscal Matter 2 is a contract with Schwatka Land Farm Service. Fiscal Matter 3 is a lease agreement with TLR Land Ventures. And Fiscal Matter 4 is a contract with ARC Systems Incorporated.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. At the request of a member, we will separate these items and we will vote for fiscal matters 2 through 4 first. Please call the roll for items fiscal matters 2 through 4. Oh, may I have a motion?
Second.
Wait, I'll motion to separate, Mr. Secretary.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, so now we'll call the roll for fiscal matters 2 through 4.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Fiscal matters 2 through 4 has passed. Now, Mr. Secretary, please read the cover for fiscal matter 1, and then we'll have a vote on fiscal matter 1.
Fiscal Matter 1 is a contract with CBP TV LLC. This is for the York Road and Bosley Avenue project.
Any questions or comments? Hearing,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
Yes. I guess about a half hour ago, I came into possession a email that was requested under the Freedom of Information Act dealing with the property at York and Bosley Avenue, and it deals with the issue of the removal of trees on that property. And I think that the relationship between the county government and the owners and the people, the prospective buyers of this property, I think it is a very unhealthy relationship. Let me read you an email. Remember, these trees were taken down at the taxpayers' expense. Private contractor, I think about $27,000. I don't know how much money was expended by the county by the use of county employees. Well, let me read you this copy of an email that was obtained through the Freedom of Information Act. It was from, it was dated January 18, 2017 from Donna Morrison to Robert Hoffman. It says, you were going to send Fred the site plan with the trees that needed to be removed. And the response from Mr. Hoffman is, hi Donna, yep, and got your phone message, mud is on it. So it shows that there was a working relationship between the county and the developer that wanted to buy this land. So we know basically what happened and why those trees were taken down, and we know they were taken down at the expense of the taxpayers of Baltimore County. And I truly regret to have to divulge this, but it just came to my attention, and I think it's sad.
Thank you, Councilman Catch. I don't think that there was ever any issue at all or any question about the trees being removed and who removed them and why. It had to do with the change in price and the negotiations that took place. But on that note, we're not going to get into all of that. We're going to call the vote. Mr. Secretary. Councilman Marks, you have about 30 seconds to make your point, and then we're going to move forward.
Well, hopefully I can have as much time as I want to stay, but I mean, you know, we heard about this all ad nauseum last spring and last summer, and I am, 1 year ago at this council meeting, I expressed my outrage at the trees being removed. The question tonight is which path forward provides us with the most realistic opportunity to remove the gas station, and that is why I'm voting the way I'm going to vote tonight.
Thank you.
And, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Quirk?
if I could, I mean, I spent many, many hours talking with both the GTCA as well as CAVES, and many of the community leaders at the GTCA, including Ron Council, Paul Hartman, Marsha McLaughlin, I see Beth Miller here tonight, Mike Ortel, Brian Fisher, Peggy King, spent many, many hours and lots of give and take between CAVES and the GTCA to come up with something that all sides could live with. And it was a real series of give and take. Both sides tried to meet each other in the middle, and I think fair and reasonable people came to something that everybody could move forward on. And that's the reality. I was part of it. And I know not everybody's happy with this, but I think voting for this as well makes sure that the big issue, and I want to remind everybody what the big issue was when this first all started, was no gas station. And the big issue, no gas station, is no longer on the table. A gas station over there is not happening. And an agreement with the GTCA and CAVES on what both sides felt was something that they could live with is what's on the table right now. So I think that's important to make sure that that's clear.
Thank you, Councilman Quirk. Mr. Secretary, let me see, do I have a motion to approve fiscal matter number 1?
I'll move it.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll for fiscal matter number 1.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
No.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
No.
Mr. Catch?
No.
Ayes have it. Fiscal matter number 1 is approved. We will now consider all miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
This is a notification from the Director of Budget and Finance regarding contracts over $25,000 that are awarded by process other than formal competitive bid. There are 2 contracts this evening that are required to be read into the record. Early morning software, $96,815, and catering by Yafa Incorporated, $100,000.
Thank you. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Resolution 29-18 is sponsored by Councilman Jones. This is a resolution of the council to approve the review of a proposed planned unit development.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. This planned unit development is for the expansion of Augsburg Lutheran Home that's been in existence since the early 1900s, like 1919. And they have come to a place where they want to do an expansion within the property, within the confounds of the property they currently own. And I will make a motion to pass this PUD.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, there is an amendment in your books also before that.
Right. There's 2 amendments. Would you give us, or one
Right.
amendment? Give us the description of the amendment.
Yeah, there are two amendments listed in your books. The first one is technical. The second one is also technical, although there is a substantive component to that amendment, and that is to enhance the community benefit so that improvements to the ground of the school system property at Campfield Road and Alter Street will be made in the amount of $10,000.
Thank you. Is there a motion to pass the amendments? I'll move it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendments.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye. The ayes have it. The amendments to Resolution 29-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
This would be on the adoption of the resolution as amended.
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Resolution 29-18 is passed. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Resolution 32-18 is a resolution to authorize the county to convey a portion of a county-owned parcel of land from the Board of Education, that the county received from the Board of Education of Baltimore County.
Ms. Amy Grassi. Good evening, Ms. Grassi.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. The administration is requesting approval of a contract to sell approximately 0.027 acres of surplus county property located near the intersection of Holiday Manor Road and Baker Lane in the Perry Hall area of Baltimore County to James and Kathleen Altoff, owners of an adjacent parcel at 4109 Baker Lane, who want to subdivide that parcel and build a second home, and they need fee access onto Baker Lane for that lot. We are selling them the minimum amount that they can use according to an approvable development scheme for the access to that one lot. The appraised value of the access drive is $8,570.
Thank you. Any comments? Yes, go ahead, Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grassi. Thank you for your work on this. I did check with the Perry Hall Improvement Association, which did not have any objection to this sale.
No more questions. Mr. Secretary, please call a roll on Resolution 32-8. Oh, do I have a motion to approve it? I'll make the motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Resolution 32-18 passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 33-18 is sponsored by Council Members Crandall and Bevins. This is a resolution of the County Council to designate the Essex area as a sustainable community.
Councilwoman Bevins?
No, Councilman Crandall.
Okay. Crandall?
I'd love
Well,
to
I'll
take
go-
all the credit for it, but
I'll
go
go,
ahead,
I'll
Todd.
go, I'll go first. And so this is an exciting evening for Essex, assuming that the council will endorse our application to the state to designate Essex as a sustainable community. I've been talking with Baltimore County's Department of Planning for a long time now about how we infuse investment and pride back into the Essex area that, much like a lot of parts of southeastern Baltimore County, has been devastated by job loss over the last 20 or so years. And one of the things that we lacked in order to attract this public sector funding and the incentive packages that come along with it was that we lacked an organized group in Essex that could administer and these grants and these different programs. And Councilwoman Bevins and I attended a meeting at the Chesapeake Gateway Chamber of Commerce, and there were community leaders there, business leaders, among others, and of course chamber officers. And through that meeting, what evolved was the creation of the Eastern Baltimore County Task Force, which is now a subcommittee of the Chamber of Commerce. So we have that organized entity of community leaders, of business leaders, and elected officials, and folks in Baltimore County and the state that are ready to go to work on Essex. And I said in the work session that we have the right people. I truly believe that. I think we have some passionate, committed people that have had success and impact in the Essex community already. And we also we have timing on our side. Essex sits in the middle of two of the most exciting things going on in Baltimore County right now, which are Trade Point Atlantic and the Route 43 corridor. And Essex sits right in the middle, and it should be a hub for investment and reinvestment and revitalization. So I'm excited about the designation. We're ready to go, and I want to thank the Baltimore County Department of Planning for doing an exceptional job on the application. I want to thank the Governor Hogan's cabinet. Some of the cabinet secretaries came and visited Essex and sort of shepherded us through this application process. And working with Baltimore County Department of Planning. And I want to thank the community members who have really stepped up and worked closely with the Department of Planning on this application. So exciting night, and I'll move it unless Councilwoman Bevins, who played a role in this as well, if she would like to.
Sure, I'll move
Okay.
it. Mhm.
It's been moved. I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 33-18.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Thank you.
Ayes have it. 33-18 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 34-18 is a resolution to expand residential permit parking A in the Eastern District of Towson. This is for introduction only this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. As is customary with every council meeting, people that have signed up prior to the meeting have an opportunity to And I will start with Ms. Joanne Zimmer.
Joanne, tell them the meeting's not over, so
Yeah.
they're all settled in.
Can everyone please be respectful? We're not done yet. We have speakers. Ms. Joanne Zimmer.
Good evening. Hello. Good evening. I'm Julianne
evening.
Zimmer, President and founder of Relove Animals. The tragedy of the death of Oscar shocked this county and beyond. Oscar was not just an animal, he was a defenseless being that was left to suffer and die. The people entrusted to make sure something like this didn't happen failed him and failed us. In the wake of this incident, people found their power in their voice. We as a community are making a statement here and now with the passing of this bill that we will not accept behavior in our county. Owners, municipal entities, and administrations will have to answer for their lack of health and welfare for those with no voice. Oscar was only one lonely dog, but he represents scores of dogs who died alone that we will never know about. Oscar's law represents accountability. It represents that we just don't prefer proper care for our animals, we demand it. This is the beginning of change and reform to Article 12 of the Baltimore County Code that will show that we, the people, put importance on how our animals are treated. This marks the end of acceptance and tolerability of what is unacceptable and reprehensible. This bill is the next step in a process. We will be continuing the process of seeking justice for Oscar, accountability from Oscar's owner, Animal Service, and the administration. Oversight and transparency is clearly needed for BCAS. This incident and the actions stemming from it are a solid indication of that. I would like to thank my extraordinary colleagues, Joy Friedman and Darla Fahili. It was a privilege and honor to work closely with both of you on this bill. Your tenacity and experience were astounding. I can't imagine anyone more dedicated to their causes than these two powerhouses. Legislation can be challenging, and it should be. We know that all good legislation is finely tuned, and amendments are your best friend. This isn't our first rodeo, and it won't be our last. On behalf of Joy, Darla, and myself, we would like to thank Councilman David Marks and Tom Quirk for taking on this bill with us and seeing the importance that Oscar's death had on their communities. They weathered this bill through some storms and got it over the finish line. The confidence we feel in these two phenomenal councilmen can't be described. Councilman Wade Catch and Todd Crandall stood out by standing up at two separate hearings and not only voiced their support, but wanted to be part of this movement and be co-sponsors for a piece of legislation they believed in. Vicki Allman signed on as a co-sponsor at the end of last week, voicing her support as a long-standing animal advocate for the animals. Kathy Bevins supports the bill and its values and its importance, and even Councilman Jones came around. Together, these 7 council members show Baltimore County that we are fortunate enough to have forward-thinking, compassionate, and responsible representatives that make up a dream team that other counties will envy. We also want to send much love and gratitude to the state's attorney's office. Their persistence and expertise brought the much-needed validity to this case. In the end, some very positive things came out of this horrendous tragedy.
Bring your comments to an end, please.
The power we have as a community is undeniable. Let us never forget the feeling we all have today, because with that power, we can change things.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Joy Freeman.
Mr. Chairman, really quick too. I did want to, in addition to everybody here tonight too, I did want to recognize Michelle Garino, who is in the audience with Tommy Sherrill, because Michelle did a lot locally to make sure that people in Arbutus really knew what was going on as well. So in addition to Darla local, we had Michelle here too. I did want to recognize that as well, because you guys really did a great job of making sure people know what's going on. So I appreciate you being here tonight as well.
Ms. Freeman.
Hello, council members. I would like to echo what my esteemed colleague, Julian Zimmer, just said. Thank you to Councilman Marks and Quirk for all of your dedication in helping introduce Bill 2813, Oscar's Law, which is now Oscar's Law. I would also like to thank our families, spouses, and kids for putting up with our hours away from them and getting this passed, which was quite a bit, I have to say. Finally, I would like to thank the voices of the volunteers. The volunteers, I'm going to face them because really this is as a result of all of their work. The voices of the volunteers, advocates, Animal Advisory Commission have dedicated countless days, months, and years to push for transparency. It is an honor to collaborate with all of you. The passage of Oscar's Law is just the beginning. As a new administration is ushered in this fall, it is our hope that we will see a new era of openness and transparency that will lead to more improvements, open communication, and a new productive relationship with the residents of Baltimore County and Baltimore Animal Services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Freeman. Mr. Mark Lee.
Mr. Chairman, I make a quick comment.
Go right ahead.
Very happy with the job that our animal shelter is doing, and I don't know if many of you have heard the fact that it will be open 7 days a week, and adoptions will be 7 days a week. So this county is moving in the right direction, and I'm very proud of the animal shelter and all that they're doing to get animals adopted. And it's just a step in the right direction. Thank you.
Councilman Quirk.
Yeah, I'd like to echo Councilman Catch's comments. I mean, because there have been a lot of really positive strides made through a lot of people sitting in this room tonight. And one, I mean, incredibly good statistic that I think everybody is thrilled about, and a lot of people really worked hard to do this, is the euthanasia rate, in particular among cats, is exceptionally different than it was a couple years ago. And I'll tell you, that's a huge win as well. So we have, I mean, looking at the big picture, I think Baltimore County has really come such a long, long way that we all can be proud of. So thank you all for your hard work.
Thank you, Councilman Quirk. Councilwoman Allman.
Yes, I'd like to thank Deborah Stone-Hess for being the chair of our advisory group on animals, and I think you've done an outstanding job of bringing people together to make positive change. For that, I want to thank you so much, and all of you, for your hard work.
Councilwoman Bevins, and then you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank especially the community folks that started to rally for Oscar. I really appreciate it. And all of the people that serve with the commission. My appointment is here. Janice Vincent, thank you for all you do. And thank you for all the input on the legislation and working with everyone on the council on this. I believe that it is important work, and we hope that this never happens again in Baltimore County.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want the Animal Services Advisory Commission, the folks that are here, to know that Roy Plummer, my appointee to the commission, I didn't talk to Roy directly, but he did, I think he sent a message over to our office, and it came across to me as, Todd better vote for this. So not only did I vote for it, I became a co-sponsor, and really, you know, this is an example. This is an example of how things are supposed to work. So in voting for it and co-sponsoring, I played a very small role, but I do feel part of a county and a county council an Advisory Services Commission and advocates in the community all working together to get something done. And that's really how it should work. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Mark Lee. Good evening, Mr. Lee.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to speak once
Thank
again.
you for coming. Appreciate you.
And a special thanks to Councilman Catch for that information, new information on that email. I will do my best to control my rage. Regarding tonight's vote on the Townsend Station contract, for the record, the developer is not paying $6.9 million, despite the number on the fiscal note. We have done our best to give you our community's concerns and to spell out the various ways this administration has shellacked the taxpayers and citizens in order to get the key site turned over, cheaply, I might add, to its favored contributors. The council has made its decisions repeatedly to back whatever the administration wants, which has turned out, not coincidentally, into a windfall for Caves Valley Partners. In a few months, it'll be time for the voters to have their say. To state that we're angry is an absolute understatement. And we are on a mission to clean up this county by supporting candidates who actually care about a true balance between communities and businesses. So a special thanks to Councilman Crandall for your vote, Councilman Catch for your vote, and I need to make mention, Councilwoman Almond, thank you for your vote. Although in this election year, I do find it very, very peculiar that you have voted this way. But thanks anyway.
Mr. Chair, if I
A special thanks to Senator Brochin for his energetic and clear-eyed support. We will be working and praying for a sea change in the balance of power this year to restore our county to citizen, not developer control. Is there something funny?
Yeah, that whole statement you just made about Brochin is hysterical.
Is there a problem? Is there a problem?
Wait, 1 second, please. Are you done your statement, sir?
I'm done at the moment.
Well, you have 3 minutes. This is 3 minutes up?
30 seconds.
Okay, well, we can, if you want to conclude your statement,
I
please
thought
do
somebody
so.
had something to say.
Well, go ahead, Councilwoman Bevins.
The last time that you were here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure no one wanted a gas station there. Absolutely no one wanted a gas station there.
It's not just the gas station, it's the money. It's the $916,000 that's short. There's a problem here. There's a problem, and the citizens are calling you out.
And you're still saying no thank you. I understand everything else that you're saying, but just correct me, you did not want a gas station.
We did not want a gas station, but we also wanted a level of transparency from this county council, which so far, according to the email that Councilman Catch disclosed today, we have not gotten at all. Backroom deals with Caves Valley Partners? Sorry, that does not count.
I did not know about that email. Did anybody else know about that email? Mr. Catch never informed anyone sitting up here on this council that email.
I just got about an hour ago. Wait a minute.
And yet, you still voted the way you did.
I voted with the councilman who represents this district because he
You could have called to postpone the vote.
Sir,
you know
sir,
that, and
are you finished your comments?
Thank you
very much, Mr. Lee. Now, some
Mr.
comments from some of the members.
Mr. Chairman,
Wait, you're out. Wait your turn.
I just think
Councilman Quirk and then Councilwoman Almond.
I think an inconvenient fact to the previous speaker, who's clearly a Jim Brochin propaganda artist, is that an inconvenient fact, sir, is this was not a county council unilateral decision. I want to remind you, because I think you're missing an important fact, which is really important, that this was a decision that was negotiated with the community in Caves. It was negotiated with the Greater Towson Community Association. This was a give-and-take process. Not every member on the committee agreed with it, but the vast majority of people did agree with it. So that's an important thing. I think that's important to reiterate, that this was a long negotiation between the community in Caves Valley. This is a community negotiation. I can't stress that enough. Listening to you, I think, ignores a critical fact that the GTTCA also signed off on what we ultimately have. Because, by the way, let me just remind you another thing. If we voted no on this tonight, guess what? Guess what Towson just got? They just got the gas station that Towson doesn't want. And because of that, people like Ron Council and Paul Hartman said, you know what, let's get this done and let's move it forward. And that's why your councilman in Towson rightfully voted for this as well. I just wanted to put this fact out.
Thank you, Councilman Quirk. Councilwoman Allman. Councilwoman Allman. No comment, Councilwoman Allman. Any more comments?
Yes, yes. My integrity was challenged, and yes, you did. Well, that's because I got it about an hour before the meeting. Well, let me just say that I can show you what time and when
I don't think anybody's integrity was questioned, Mr.
Oh, it was. No,
Catch.
it was. It was. And I don't. Well, no, you said more than that. I'll tell you. Yes, yes, I can.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Can I?
Would you like to make a statement?
I just want to make one comment, if I might.
Will you please have silence in the audience, please? Or, well, you had an opportunity to sign up and speak, so please let us continue with the meeting.
The only comment that I wanted to make to focus back in on the value question is that the discussions that Mr. Quirk was involved in between the community and the developer led to a request that we get two independent entities to value the deal. We got a recommendation from Anubhav Basu as to an economist to hire, right? And we then got a third-party real estate entity to do it. We took in both cases, they knew the information that the revitalization tax credit, which is built into our law and has been built into our law for 25, since 94, right? The revitalization tax credit has been in the law since 94 and gave a developer the right to be able to take the property without paying property taxes during a 10-year period based upon the value of the development. The alternative that got proposed, and both the economist and the real estate appraisal firm that did it, both knew that the developer was prepared to pay the property taxes in return for a present value calculation of what those property taxes would be. In both cases, in one case, the real estate developer identified, including the value of the revitalization tax credit, the net value of the acquisition paid, considering the fact that they would then pay the property taxes, and the economist recommended by Mr. Basu gave us a high, low, and middle. The middle was what was used along with the net value. I think that is the important thing that has not gotten discussed tonight. There were two third-party entities, and the values were averaged to get to where we are.
Thank you very much. Any more comments from the members? Hearing none. I don't. Well, listen, we're not going to get into that because it'll just never end. But I thank you very much for coming out. Thank you very much, Mr. Holman. We are adjourned. Thank you.